kind of feel bad doing this, but you know, asshole did it to me again. More Corey Simon. I'm not gonna, go through all that crap. It's just more. This is the Monday, the 17th of October. So I just did some more research, other than the basics with Corey Simon. He's voting for the Republican agenda, the de facto DeSantos, he's against women having the right to choose. He wants, all the typical talking points. He's behind Rick Scott's, proposals to get rid of Medicare and Social Security. Just imagine a guy who's a multi-billionaire telling you that you can't have the Social Security and Medicare that you paid into all your life. What kind of creeps are these people? And Corey Simon is no different. I'm sorry. He's just no different. So anyway, I went searching. I mean, he's just walking, talking Republican talking points. He doesn't care one bit. One solid thing I figured out, and I went searching now for hours and hours today, and I did a little bit this weekend, mainly in the evenings. So today I decided to go ahead and do it during the day because I'm a little bit better functioning talking in the daytime. I'm getting pretty old. Okay, the one thing I found out is that you go search on the internet for Corey Simon, all you can find is football bullshit. That's it. Just football, football, football. There's nothing about his childhood. There's nothing about his parents or his mother or brothers and sisters. There's nothing in there. There's nothing about. And then after that, after he retires from football, zero zip, nothing. There's nothing in there about his family. He's always talked about being a family man. But one little news snippet called him single. Then another little news snippet said family man. And then he does have this mysterious son that never says anything and who's going to vocational school apparently. But there's only one actual picture of this kid at some sort of facility that's completely encased in chain link fence, really high fence, with a tarps coming down. I don't see any welding equipment, and he's kind of smiling, and Corey Simon's like, that's it. The only other picture I've ever seen is this one, or the one in the ad. And now I want to say, who is this woman? There's not one picture online of who this woman is. Are they fabricating a life for this dude? Does he even really exist? I mean, I know he exists because he's huge and he shows up. And I searched all these events, where he shows up and kind of half being a speaker, but mainly being endorsed by DeSantos as the guy that's going to beat Lorraine Owsley here in this district. This has all been set up for years, the gerrymandering of our district, which is illegal, but like Republicans do, they just say, who cares? I'm just going to gerrymander it anyway. And then I guess he finally found some judge or court or something in Florida, and God knows there's probably a ton of them that back the Nazi regime of Ron DeSantis. So Corey Simon is just right there. And one of his big things that he says is school um, freedom of choice. All right, for schools. Okay, that's code for taxpayers like me and whoever else is out there who's a taxpayer, which is everybody, because Floridians pay exorbitant amount of consumer tax on everything. Don't get it in your mind that there's no state tax. There's a ton of state tax. You know, gasoline always costs more in Florida. You just go across the state line. Just all that's BS. But property tax, like mine, mainly goes to support. Well, half of it goes to the police. For some ungodly reason, I have no idea why we need such an absolutely armed and dangerous police force. It's just absurd. But what do I? So he his whole thing about freedom of choice, which is a code word for taxpayer money going to Christian charter schools. He wants the taxpayers of Florida to fund Christian, and I'll go as far as to say Christian indoctrination schools. No. My kids went to regular public school. I want to see the public schools, funded like they're supposed to be. Christians can pay for their own frickin' schools. They don't pay any goddamn taxes, and now they want tax money from the citizens of Florida to pay for Christian fucking schools. Sorry. That's a subject that really, really, really ticks me off. Even more than half of my money goes to the cops. I don't mind cops. I like cops. I think that their job is important. But for them to take half of all the money for themselves so that they can have all this fancy equipment, everything about them, blah, 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 blah. It's not necessary. It's unnecessary. We need to be putting money into social workers and, treatment for these kids that are lost and stuff like that, and drug addicts and drug addiction. But anyway, never mind. So, anyway, where is everything? I defy anyone to go on the internet, find out any information about Corey Simon that is not football. You're not going to do it. You're not going to see wifey. You're not going to see his kids. Oh, there's another one. You know how they say, oh, he's the founder of Corey's Kids. Well, try to look up Corey's Kids. Zero, zip, none. It's crickets. It's a ghost town. The only Corey's Kids that pops up is some organization down in Bradenton County, Sarasota, or some backward place like that. And whatever, they might have a nice program. But there's no Corey's Kids that I know of. And if you're going to be the CEO of an organization like that, why the hell wouldn't you have some sort of presence on the internet? I went to YouTube. I went to every one of those kind of places. Zero, zero, zip. Football, football, football. Anything else? Nothing, nothing, nothing. I went to. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it. I'm real familiar with Linux and a lot of their programs. They have a program called. I'm not going to say the program, but anyway, you can just type in stuff and it searches the net for that specific thing. It's like a search engine, only it only searches for like video of whatever it is you're looking for. Nothing. Zero. Zip. Oh, there was his debate with Lorraine Osley, and he stood up there and actually spoke okay. He didn't say anything like a typical Republican. He just had a bunch of talking points, you know. Another thing that I noticed is that some of the older things I read about him, like right after he retired, he was worth about $1 million to $2 million. Now, miraculously, since he was appointed to be the head of Volunteer Florida, whatever the hell that organization does, I still don't know, and I have tried to look it up. All of a sudden now, he's worth $17 million? How does that happen? In 2 years, he went from a couple million to 17 million? Yeah. I'd say he's basically bought and paid for by the DeSantis regime. And if you look up on the internet DeSantis and Corey Simon, giant piles and piles. You have stuff to read for all day long. Take the DeSantis part out, zero zip crickets. So I don't know. I don't think this guy's legit. I don't think he's got a family. I think he's just taking the money and he's running with it. He could care less about the people of Florida. He could care less. You should see pictures of when he was young and a football player. He's a mean looking dude. Now I guess, playing football you gotta be kinda mean looking. But and he took out a full page ad because the League of Women Voters endorsed Lorraine Osley. And so he took a full page ad out calling them all kinds of names and crap. It's just pretty damn despicable. Lorraine Osley's as normal of a person as, and you can find out everything about her. You type in Lorraine Osley, boom, there's her family, where she lives, how much money she makes. Everything is just right out there. Her son, who for real has a disease. I think Corey Simon's son has something wrong with him, but doesn't want to talk about it. I think his wife, if that woman in those pictures is his wife, which I'm doubting really a lot now. Something wrong with her. Where's his mother? He made all these things on television. Mom, help me through. Oh, well, where is your mom? Is she deceased? Is she still with us? Has she got something to say? Where is your mom? Where's your dad? Because you're not that old. You're only 45 years old. So, for on average, I would put your parents in their 60s or 70s, my age. Where are they? Anyway, I don't think this guy's for real. I don't think Corey Simon is a real entity. I think he's a haint. I think he was touched by the hoodoo man. I think there's something wrong with this dude. Why isn't there anything anywhere about this guy other than propaganda? And so in general, the DeSantis regime gerrymandered our district. which has been Democratic and a sea of Republicans for a millennium. So finally, Ron's going to put an end to that. These damn Democrats in the state capitol. So they illegally gerrymandered our district. They threw this football nut in here who went to FSU and threw pictures of Bobby Bowden in with him and did all this kind of crap, hoping they're going to win over, the black voters, I guess, that normally vote Democratic. I doubt that. I mean, most of the black folks I've met here, even just a cat the other day who I took a taxi to, I guess it was a month or two ago. He's a normal, regular guy, smart as a whip, as smart as me. I consider myself to be a normal kind of smart guy. I don't claim to be genius or anything. Not really. Anyway, that's enough. This Corey Simon stuff, really, he needs to be. Somebody needs to put a period on this guy for having anything to do with our government. He's just going to be another leech that sucks money away from the taxpayers and wants to stick our hard-earned money into all these nefarious things. It really, really chaps my ass. Chomps. That'd be terrible. But it definitely chaps my ass when I pay my taxes. And I know that it's going into the coffers of a Republican government that's just going to do all this nefarious crap. I don't know, Florida. I've given most of my life to this state. I don't know. Anyway, anybody's voting for Corey Simon, good luck. If he wins, it's just going to be darker and darker and weirder and way more authoritarian-like in this state. I hope Val Demings does well. I hope Chris does well. But really, I just don't know the way these Republicans have just outlawed their way. It's like they're like thieves that have robbed a convenience store and shot the place up. That's what they do. They get into office, they create all kinds of havoc, they grab as much money as they can and shove it in their pockets, and they don't give a shit. And if people keep voting it back in, they go, great, another year of putting it in my pocket. Picking up the pawpaw, picking up the green stuff and putting it in my pocket. That's what I do. I'm a Republican. Well, again, don't vote for Corey Simon. He's untrustworthy until he shows me if anybody has any evidence at all of his family or his wife or his, upbringing down in Bradenton. Please tell me, call me out, tell me I'm, don't just throw some innuendos, show me some pictures, show me a link to go to so I can read about them, show me a newspaper article somewhere, about that. You're not going to find it. Nobody's going to find it because it doesn't exist. Corey Simon's basic family does not exist. All right. That's it. Buenos dias. And adios. Or should I say goodbye and good day? Adios and buenos dias.